Imagine dealing with constant cravings, chronic fatigue, and mysterious bloating and gassiness that doesn't go away. This was the exact situation that I was in before I discovered that I had Candida overgrowth. Here is what I did to fix it using holistic approaches. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be diving into the topic that's deeply personal and incredibly important, which is Candida overgrowth. For years, I struggled with different symptoms like chronic fatigue and brain fog and digestive disturbances. And after I did much research on this in my functional nutrition training, I learned that it was Candida, this overgrowth, this natural yeast that occurs in our body. For a long time, I felt drained, foggy, and just not myself. And I had constant cravings for sugar and bread, and no matter how much I ate, I always wanted more. On top of that, I felt exhausted no matter how much I slept. It was frustrating to say the least. After numerous years of wondering what it was and what was the cause of these symptoms and not having a clear idea, it came to me. It was from Candida, and through studying with my functional nutrition consultant education, I learned about the digestive tract and how this normal yeast can actually quickly become overgrown. Some of the symptoms I had experienced that you might relate to is chronic fatigue and feeling lethargy, brain fog and poor memory, digestive disturbances like bloating, crampy, gas, and pain, constant cravings for sugar and carbohydrates, and skin issues like little bumps and eczema and acne, and reoccurrent infections. Some of the causes, which was so important for me to learn, that was triggering was multi-different factors. And so it's a diet that's high in refined carbs and sugars, which I was completely guilty of. I loved my treats. And long-term antibiotic use, which wasn't necessarily the case, but I had definitely my doses of antibiotics without having an intentional chance to heal the GI tract after that. Also impaired immunity and hormonal changes such as pregnancy or any use of birth control, which in my case, that wasn't what was the main problem. It was really the amount of sugar I was feeding the body. So for my treatment plan, I started to manage Candida in a multifaceted approach. So it wasn't just one single thing, it's the combination of the lifestyle changes with sleep, exercise, and stress management in addition to my nutrition changes. And that's what I want to get into with you guys. So some of the lifestyle changes that I made was incorporating the stress management techniques, because I learned how stress is so closely to how we can digest. So I started to incorporate yoga. I started to add in meditation and breath work and getting outside more. In addition to reducing stress, I started to focus on the quality of sleep I was getting. Regular, including on the weekdays and weeknights, having that consistent routine and making sure that I was staying asleep during these really imperative moments where the body is going through neurogenesis and apoptosis, killing off the old cells and creating new. It was so important for me to lock down that window that I was getting into that deep REM sleep and setting up myself for a beautiful, relaxing routine going into my sleep so I could stay in that place of relaxation all night. Now, some of the dietary changes I made were avoiding sugar and refined carbs. And that's a big deal if you're used to eating sugars, as the yeast can simply feed on any type of carbohydrate. I started taking out any inflammatory foods from the seed oils, and I started to add in more water, more fiber, focused on doing those two things at the same time. As we increase our fiber, we also need to increase our water so you don't get stuck with constipation. If that's a problem for you guys, watch my constipation video. And then some of the supplements that I actually brought in to help me were bringing in a prebiotic or a probiotic to support the gut health, bringing in garlic and oregano, and bringing in these natural antifungals to help keep the yeast in check, bringing in caprylic acid and barabine to help fight the overgrowth. One thing you could do to test is taking a functional test to see if Candida is an issue. You will then get a clearer picture about your health to avoid that trial and error period that I went through. And so you could just do this through testing. One of the tests I would recommend is doing a comprehensive stool test or an organic acids test. Or you could also check your antibody and antigen panels. So, in conclusion, addressing Candida is going to take an approach where you're looking at the whole picture, the whole health. And it's not just a journey, or it's not just a destination, it's a journey. It's going to take some huge lifestyle changes to start to really get your body back in check. You have to be mindful of your body's needs, and it's also going to take a high level of discipline to starve this yeast that is in overgrowth, that's overproducing, and get it back into check. So remember, you're not alone. And with the right approach, you can start to get control on these health issues. And so you can start to be free, actually free from all the cravings, the carb, the bloating, the digestive issues, the brain fog. And I'll tell you that when I set myself free from these cravings, I finally started to be able to use my food as medicine and no longer be controlled by the yeast cravings and like screaming out like I need more chocolate or cookies or baked goodies. And I could start to just eat food for the sake of giving myself the nutrients that I need rather than feeding these this overgrowth in yeast. So thank you so much for watching, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and share this with anyone who might benefit from this information. Take care and stay healthy. Aloha.